Good evening, people. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, another beautiful, beautiful night in the city, the big city of New York City. Today is Friday, October 7th, 2022, and the time is now 10:25 in the PM. I hope your day went well. Yes, my day went okay. I was able to go to my favorite park. And things seem so different when I went out today. I had a different perception around me just by walking on a different side of the street. Yeah, I had done a detour and then went back on the usual road, but things just had a different perception to it. It was different, and I started noticing new stores. And I just started to think a little bit more positive about my environment and really maybe reconsidering certain things. Oh, well, what I want to talk about today. Um, I was watching two videos not too long ago. The first one about a lot of people um, moving. And she entitled her video something to the effect, Is It a Trap? And I watched the video and I said, wow, this is what I'm feeling. I have this desire to relocate. I'm not sure where, but you know, is this, I didn't use the word trap, but she does. But I said, is this a scam? Is something really behind motivating people to want to leave? I did question that, and I think I might have mentioned it in my video. But it was something like when you start like, if it's just you thinking, you want to do something, okay, then it's just you. But when you see like a lot of people, and it's a big topic, and it wasn't there before, but why now? Growing up, I never really heard about things like this. People wanted to leave. No, but now, and the type of people who are leaving, and that they're really not giving a lot of information. They're giving some information. And for you to get more information, well, you got to buy their class, their course. But even though it's about, survival and this and that, and, you know, we're oppressed and everything, you know, I just don't understand that logic. It's like you you're saying that we're in a bad condition, but then you're not really forthcoming about the information, or you release certain information, but the rest you got to pay for. Yeah, I did mention that in several videos, and it was kind of a turnoff. But I was surprised that this one YouTuber was mentioning about, you know, using the term, is it a trap? Are you being set up? And I thanked her. Yeah, it was a live stream, but I missed the live stream, so I was watching the replay. I needed to see that. I needed that because it's validating my feelings. And then from there, I found a video. Um, she's like a religious woman who is in the like a um, he like I'm not sure whether I mean, she says, I think she says she's a Christian, but uses terminology of um, like Israelites, things like that. And so I'm assuming that she might be also affiliated with the Hebrew Israelite movement. And well, I don't want to give who she is, but I was curious about. She was mentioning something about she had a vision or a dream. I forget the term that she used about uh, a ships or cruise ships will be used for the second Exodus. And I noticed something within the Black community um, globally that you're starting to hear the term Exodus, um, expat, um, homeland, things like that. Those type of themes. It's very, very common. And there is an encouragement to move where you are because like you to go it's necessary to go back to like your origins. And I felt this way for about a close to a year. I was introduced to this maybe late last year, and then it became very extreme this year, very extreme. And I it was to an extreme that I even got my African DNA, went to that company, African Ancestry company, to get my mitochondrial rechecked to find out what tribe I'm from. I knew already that I had African mitochondrial DNA because I got my DNA checked with a another company many years ago. And so my curiosity, and I did explain this before, and I was just really excited about this one particular woman in Colombia who got her test done. I was just so excited about her, and I just felt, hey, let me get mine done. Um, so anyway, this theme of Exodus, they use a lot of Bible terms. I notice in the Black community now. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost got distracted yet. This one religious person. Oops. Sorry about that. My batteries are getting low. So let me just charge it now. So I have to plug it in. Just take a moment. Sorry about that. I have to put the, oops, sorry, that's my computer there. Boy, I should have known better. Okay. So I'm just plug it in now. I apologize for that, people. I apologize for that. Yeah, so this YouTuber, um, very religious slash pious woman, and she was focusing on about this cruise ship that she had a vision or a dream about that is going to take the homeless people, and something about with Babylon. She uses that term a lot about Babylon, to get out of Babylon. And my thought about the whole thing was, why why now? Why is a lot of blacks of the African diaspora, it's like we have a religious spirit and we want to identify with these characters in the Bible, especially the Old Testament. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And is it really helping us? That's the main issue. Yes, so it's like the political climate in general, globally, this especially after the this pandemic, as I call it, for the past 2.5 years, people are relocating, and because they feel that there's a doom approaching. And then with the religious movement, Christian movement, that the theme of Babylon, get out of Babylon. Um, if people are going to identify, I mean, your identity is your identity. But is what we identify with, is it helping us? Is it helping you? You are who you are. And I think the whole idea of one's identity is being used as a weapon to control us and to confuse us. You have people wondering what gender they are. And it's used to distract and to hold back. If you don't know who you are, then anybody can tell you who you are. And it's not going to be nice what they say, who you are. But a lot of us want to identify with characters in the Old Testament, that you are from an ancient tribe, and that you have the lost tribes. And I was like, I used to be a little fascinated with this, actually, around in 2012, 2013. The whole thing about the Hebrew Israelites. I was never a member, but I was into reading the Bible, and I used to go to church and all that. I used to be a Christian. I'm not anymore. But as a topic to watch on YouTube, I would I found the genre about the Hebrew Israelites, and that's how I met up with certain people. And we follow this. We It's like we choose a lifestyle. We want to identify with a lifestyle, an ancient lifestyle of the Bible. But it's full of all these restrictions, especially against women. Especially. You have to wear this. You have to wear that. And it's oppressing. It really, in my opinion, it really doesn't foster a feeling of freedom. And why do a lot of blacks of the diaspora want to choose a faith-based system that puts a lot of rules and restrictions upon you? And if the whole concept of the Old Testament Bible about being oppressed or having oppressors, why do you want to identify with the people who are oppressed? Why not identify with people who are free? It was just something that was just that I was interested in. It's like they enjoy reading and pretending to be of this people, and that we're supposed to be God's chosen people, and that we're wicked and we're disobedient to God, and we're being punished by God. Well, how long is this God going to punish these people? Isn't God supposed to be compassionate and forgiving? You have to ask yourself these questions. And if it's something about sin, and sin, according to the scriptures, came about because of eating something we're not supposed to eat. So something happened genetically because they're saying that um, each generation it's passed on. So something genetic. So if it's something genetic, then you can't change it. So it's just a question I'm asking. And so then, the scriptures also talk about, you have people who were um, the lost tribes. So some people want to identify being from a lost tribe. But whatever reason, they're not identifying with the tribes from West Africa when they were brought over on those ships. All of a sudden, they become embarrassed and ashamed, but they want to identify with a people, an ancient people mentioned in this scripture, and they want to identify with that because they say, well, it's associated with God. The only reason why a lot of blacks are in the Americas is because we were forced over here. But they want to identify with people from an event that allegedly happened about 4,000 years ago. What about now? Is the identity of associating, want to identify with characters in the Bible, is it helping you? And if you really feel that, that the scriptures say that you're supposed to be going back to your homeland, what's keeping you from going there? What is keeping the people who identify as being tribes from the Bible? What is keeping you from going back to your homeland? If that is your identity, then that's your identity. Who's going to tell you what's not your identity? Okay, if you have a conviction that this is your lineage, then it's your lineage. And you have some people who have gone over there to Israel to go back home. But interesting, they first went to West Africa first. And for whatever reason, I don't remember the reason, but then they left West Africa and they moved to Israel. And they're not really thriving there. And it's like, they came from the US, this group, it's a black group, and they're not thriving. They are not thriving. And they're relying for their subsistence from the Europeans that live there for jobs. And I'm thinking, if you are really God's chosen people, why isn't God giving you the same type of love as those other people who come from Europe who claim that they are the people of the Bible? Why? And this concerns me. This is the real issue of my doing this video, live stream. If God really loves you, if this is your God, if you're God's chosen people, but somehow God doesn't know how to direct your path and bring you to economic power to control your community, your domain, but it's always the same people that seem to control you. Why is this? You have to ask yourself this question. what why is, if it's the same God, if the God of the Ashkenazi is the same God as these people of the Hebrew Israelites, why is this God showing favoritism to the European Ashkenazi and not those people who are descendants from the past 500 years, mostly coming from West Africa? How come God's not showing the same love to them? See, I feel that we're deluding ourselves. We're having a, what's the word? We're being delusional because of the identity that we want to choose for ourselves. It's not really helping us. It's not empowering us. And it's keeping us in la-la land. It is okay to read scripture to educate, motivate, and to expand yourself. But if it's keeping you in la-la land and not saying, you know, what are other groups doing to empower themselves and what are we not doing? I think that could really liberate. And even if you are a descendant of the people of the Bible, you know, there are groups out there. They're all over. People who are members of that of the Jewish religion. They're all over. They're not just in Israel. They're in every continent. They're in North America, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia. They're all over. And basically, they're doing very well. Some places they do better than others, but they unify, and they in generally do very well. But so they're not relying on just being in one place. They're global. They control Israel, but they also are spread out globally. So whether you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite or whatever, or you identify as being people, you know, the lost tribe or whatever, no one is really holding. If you really have that conviction, then go there to live. And if you go there and you're not thriving, ask yourself, why aren't you thriving even in your, what you call your spiritual homeland? You have to really reconsider the validity of it all, of this faith-based system. If your God's not protecting you and providing for you, you may need to find a God that does protect you and love you and support you. You have to start asking questions. Ask questions. How could the same God give person A but not person B, but that they both belong to the same God. Maybe you don't belong to the same God, and maybe it's a false identity that you are trying to acquire for yourself. Maybe it's a false identity. There are people who has false identity syndrome. People who are born with male genitalia and they believe that they're women, and vice versa. Why is this? Why is this phenomenon? And they get angry, and they're actually angry they're angry at the gender that they want to become. You have people who are sporting certain hairdos and hair coloring, eye coloring, because they want to identify with this group, but they actually don't like them. And if you really don't like them and you dressing and acting like them, you don't like yourself. Why are we being taught to not love ourselves? And I think this is a big problem. And if we um, resolve these issues, maybe maybe it'll help us to discover where our calling really is. To discover who you really are is $1 million question. Who are we really? Who are we? Why are we here? Why are we here? Why are any of us here on this planet? I think that is the real question. And even though we have individuals who do relatively well on this planet, but they still have concerns, social concerns. And now, with this pandemic happening, they're looking for the next phase to implement, because there's still turmoil on the planet. And they're wishing to put in in my opinion, they're putting in a next phase of trying to make a one world system. Again, it's another type of slavery and global control. It's slavery. Further oppression. It's like none of us are really free. I mean, we have some liberties, but there's a system that's trying to take place. How to get out of that? How to get out of that? Why are we really here? And we have people who control the narrative through religion. And the religion is used as a weapon, it seems, in my opinion. Again, your religion is your business. What your faith is your business. What you embrace is your business. I'm only asking the question, is it serving you? And if this religion is not serving you, and you're called God's chosen, why are you not living like you're chosen? And why are we living in a type of social bondage? This is just food for thought. Food for thought, yes. The constant theme now. It's like they want you to see things through the eyes of what do you call it, like the book of Revelation, certain themes, and then the Exodus. So you're going to hear a lot of people using the term Exodus, um, um, wanting freedom, homeland, and it's all like Bible talk. And it's like, are we really being, programmed? Is it a, yeah, is it a trap? Let's introduce Bible jargon because you got a lot of people go to church, so they're familiar with these terms and they accept these terms because they're familiar hearing of it growing up in Sunday school or Sabbath or the their house of worship, whatever. And it's like programming you to um, accept when these type of conditions happen of this type of oppression, world, what they call the New World Order, stuff like that. It's like making the prophecy come true. So it's shaping your identity to accept this type of philosophy or spirit based, faith based system. But is it serving you? That's all. So I thank you for listening to this live stream. And again, I'm not here to tell people what they're to believe in or how to worship. You worship how you want to worship. I'm only asking the question about identity. Do you have the right identity? Is that identity serving you, or is it or are you serving it? So thank you again, and have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.